Have you ever felt like everything in your life was falling apart for no reason? Like no matter how hard you tried, someone or something was always working against you? What if I told you it wasn't just bad luck? It was a spiritual attack. Yes, chosen one. You were targeted. A narcissistic fallen angel was sent to destroy your peace, your purpose, and your light. But here's the part they never saw coming. You didn't just survive, you rose higher. And now, the very spirit that tried to destroy you is the one begging for mercy. This is your story, a story of strength, faith, and divine protection. Stay with me till the end because I'm going to reveal why you were chosen, why the darkness fears you so much, and how the tables have turned in the most powerful way. And hey, if you've ever felt misunderstood, attacked, or like you didn't belong, know this: you're not alone. Join this beautiful community of chosen ones by hitting that like button and dropping a comment. Show love, share your story, and let's stand together in light and strength. Trust me, what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about your life. So stay tuned, stay strong, and let's dive in. You may not see it, but there's a battle happening around you every day, a battle between light and darkness, good and evil. And in this battle, your soul is the prize. You were born with a special light inside you, a purpose, a mission, and a power that's greater than you even realize. But this light makes you a target. There are forces in the unseen world that don't want you to rise. They don't want you to know how powerful you are. They try to fill your life with fear, doubt, and pain, hoping you'll give up on your dreams and lose your way. These attacks don't always look obvious. They come through people who hurt you, situations that break your spirit, and moments that make you question your worth. But here's the truth: they wouldn't fight so hard to bring you down if you weren't destined for something great. You were chosen because of your strength, your light, and the impact you're meant to have on this world. And that scares the darkness. The fallen angel sent to destroy you knew this. It tried to attack your mind, your peace, and your heart. It whispered lies, made you feel alone, and created obstacles to stop you from becoming who you're meant to be. But what it didn't expect was your resilience. Every time you kept going, every time you held on to faith, you pushed back against that darkness. Your light grew stronger, and now the very spirit that tried to break you is the one falling apart. The battle isn't over, but know this: you've already won more than you realize. So stand firm, chosen one. The light within you is more powerful than any darkness that tries to attack you. And that is why you were targeted. From the moment you were born, there was something different about you. You've probably felt it your whole life. Like you didn't quite fit in. Like you saw the world in a way others didn't. That's because you were chosen. You carry a unique light inside you, a divine purpose that sets you apart. And this light, it's powerful. This isn't just about being special. It's about being destined for something greater. You have a heart that cares deeply, a spirit that stays strong even when life tries to break you. You see the truth when others stay blind, and you feel things on a deeper level. You inspire, you heal, and you bring hope, even when you don't realize it. That kind of light can change the world, and that makes you a threat. Dark forces fear what they cannot control. And your light? It's untouchable. The enemy saw your potential before you did. That's why you face so many battles. Not because you're weak, but because of how strong you're destined to become. Every setback, every heartbreak, every time you felt lost, those weren't just random struggles. They were attacks meant to dim your light and stop you from stepping into your power. But here's the thing: they underestimated you. With every battle, your spirit grew stronger. With every tear, your wisdom deepened. And now, you shine even brighter. You were chosen because you have a mission. To bring light where there's darkness, to lift others up, and to fulfill a purpose only you can. That's why they targeted you, and that's why they fear you, because no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't put out your fire, and they never will. Not every battle you face is just bad luck. Some attacks are planned. From the very start, a narcissistic fallen angel was assigned to destroy you. This wasn't random. This spirit saw your light, your purpose, and the incredible destiny waiting for you. And it wanted to stop you before you could step into your power. But this fallen angel didn't come at you with obvious weapons. It used manipulation and deception. It attacked your mind, planting seeds of doubt and fear. It tried to make you question your worth, your abilities, and your purpose. Through toxic relationships, betrayal, and heartbreak, it made you feel isolated and broken. This spirit knew that if it could break your confidence, it could keep you from rising. It whispered lies, telling you that you're not good enough, that your dreams are too big, that no one cares about you. It wanted you to believe these lies so deeply that you'd give up on yourself. But the most dangerous weapon this fallen angel used was distraction. It filled your life with chaos and confusion, keeping you focused on pain instead of your purpose. It wanted you exhausted, overwhelmed, and too tired to fight back. Because the more lost you felt, the easier it was for the darkness to take hold. What this fallen angel didn't expect was your resilience. Every time it tried to knock you down, you got back up. Every time it tried to silence you, your voice grew louder. You fought back, not with anger or hate, but with faith, love, and strength. And now the tables have turned. The spirit that set out to destroy you has fallen into its own trap. Because no matter how hard it tried, it couldn't take away the power and light that lives within you. And that's why it's begging for mercy. The attack on you was never obvious. It didn't come as some great, visible enemy. It came in disguises. This is what made it so dangerous. The fallen angel didn't show up with threats. Instead, it used people, situations, and emotions to try and break you from the inside out. Think back, remember the toxic relationships. The friends who betrayed you, the family members who never supported you, the partners who made you feel small. Those weren't just coincidences, they were tools. The fallen angel used these people's weaknesses in their jealousy, their insecurity, their bitterness, to get close to you and plant seeds of doubt and pain. Then came the situations, the endless setbacks, the losses, the times when everything you worked for seemed to fall apart. Every delay, every disappointment, every closed door wasn't just bad luck. It was a strategy to make you question your path and lose hope in your own destiny. But the most painful weapon of all was emotional manipulation. The whispers of self-doubt, the constant feeling of being misunderstood, the exhaustion of always being the strong one, these were the silent attacks meant to drain your spirit. The goal was simple, to make you give up on yourself. And yet, you didn't. Even when you felt broken, you kept going. Even when you were surrounded by darkness, your light refused to go out. That's why this fallen angel failed, because no matter how subtle the attack, your spirit was stronger. Now, the same forces that tried to destroy you are watching you rise, and they know they've lost. The plan was detailed, the traps were set. The fallen angel believed it had everything perfectly aligned to destroy you, your spirit, your confidence, and your destiny. It thought if it hit you hard enough, you would break. But what this fallen angel didn't understand was the power inside you. That's why their plans failed, because your strength, faith, and resilience made their mission impossible from the very start. They tried to break you through pain and betrayal. The people you trusted turned their backs on you. The ones you loved hurt you the most. You were left feeling isolated, misunderstood, and unwanted. The fallen angel believed that loneliness would crush you, that if you felt alone long enough, you'd start believing you weren't worthy of love. But even in your pain, you held on. You learned to stand alone. And instead of making you weaker, the loneliness made you stronger. They attacked your mind and emotions. The fallen angel planted doubt, fear, and insecurity, hoping you would drown in them. It used every failure and setback to whisper lies, telling you that you weren't good enough, that you'd never succeed, that your dreams were too big. But even when fear gripped your heart, you kept moving forward. You refused to give up. And every time you pushed through the doubt, your faith grew stronger. They tried to exhaust your spirit. The constant struggles, the endless obstacles. It was designed to wear you down so you'd stop fighting. The fallen angel wanted you so tired and broken that you'd forget your purpose, but every time life knocked you down, you got back up. Maybe you cried, maybe you stumbled, but you never stayed down. The most powerful weapon you had, though, was your faith. Even when you couldn't see the way forward, you believed there was one. Even when everything was falling apart, you trusted that there was a bigger plan. Your faith kept you steady when the storm raged around you. And that faith terrified the darkness because it proved that no matter what they did, they couldn't break your spirit. And here's the truth. The reason their plans failed is because you were never fighting alone. You had a divine protection around you, a light too strong for any darkness to overcome. The fallen angel underestimated that light. It didn't expect you to grow stronger through the pain. It didn't think you'd use your struggles to build wisdom and compassion. It didn't realize that every attack was only preparing you for your purpose. Now the very traps set for you have turned against them. The fallen angel's mission has collapsed because you refused to be defeated. And as you rise, shining brighter than ever, those who tried to destroy you are left in the shadows, powerless, because no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't take you down. There comes a point when darkness pushes too far, and the very traps it sets begin to close in on itself. For the fallen angel assigned to destroy you, that moment of backfire wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet, almost unnoticed at first, but it was powerful. It happened the moment you refused to break. They thought they had you. After all the pain, betrayal, and heartbreak they sent your way, they believed you would finally crumble. But instead of giving in to the fear and doubt they planted, you did something they never expected. You stood your ground. Even when you were tired and broken, you kept going. And that's when everything began to shift. The fallen angel's plan was built on the idea that you would stay small, that you would drown in your pain and never rise to your true purpose. But with every attack, you grew stronger. Every betrayal taught you resilience. Every loss deepened your wisdom. Every setback built your faith. And before they realized it, their weapons were sharpening you. The moment of backfire came when you found your light in the darkness. Instead of breaking you, the struggles pushed you closer to your true self. The lies they whispered, you replaced them with truth. The fear they planted, you answered with courage. The pain they caused, you turned into strength. But the real twist, and the part they never saw coming, was when their own darkness turned against them. The traps they set for you became their own downfall. The jealousy and hatred they used against you started consuming them. Their obsession with your destruction left them empty and lost. And while you rose higher, they sank deeper into their own shadows. In the end, the fallen angel's greatest mistake was underestimating you. They didn't see the warrior in you. But now, as they watch you stand in your power, they know they failed. And that failure? It's their own doing. There were moments when you felt completely alone, when the weight of the world pressed so heavily on your shoulders that you wondered if you'd ever stand tall again. You didn't always see the way forward. Sometimes the pain was so deep and the attack so relentless that it felt like you were losing the fight, but even then, you were never alone. The truth is, there were unseen forces of light surrounding you the entire time. You may not have felt them, but they were there, standing guard when the darkness tried to close in, lifting you up when you didn't have the strength to carry on. This divine protection wasn't loud or obvious. It didn't always show up in ways you expected, but every time you survived what was meant to destroy you, that was proof of their presence. Think back to the times you almost gave up, when the pain felt unbearable and the fear overwhelming. Somehow, you found the strength to take one more step. That wasn't just your willpower. That was divine intervention. The moments when the right person showed up, just when you needed them, when a sudden shift turned everything around, when you felt peace, even in the middle of chaos. That was your protection at work. The fallen angel tried everything, attacking your mind, your spirit, your relationships. But every time they thought they had you cornered, something unseen pulled you through. It wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. It was the light that's always been with you, keeping you safe even when you didn't realize the danger around you. You were chosen for a higher purpose, and that purpose came with protection. No weapon formed against you could truly prosper because the forces of light surrounding you were always stronger than the darkness trying to break you. And as you kept walking forward in faith, that protection only grew, shielding you, guiding you, and ensuring that every attack failed in the end. You survived not just because of your strength, but because of the divine love and light that refused to let you fall. They thought they could break you. They believed if they hit you hard enough, through pain, betrayal, and fear, you would shatter. But every attack only made you stronger. Every setback taught you resilience. Every heartbreak deepened your wisdom. And now, the very power they tried so desperately to crush has grown beyond their control. And that's why they fear you. The fallen angel's mission was simple: destroy your light. They knew from the start that there was something unique about you, a divine purpose, a strength they couldn't match. That light made you a threat to their darkness. And so they attacked. They came through people who hurt you, situations designed to break you, and whispers of fear and doubt meant to keep you small. But instead of breaking, you transformed. You took the pain and turned it into power. You turned fear into courage, doubt into faith, and betrayal into wisdom. And with every battle you survived, your light grew brighter. Now the very thing they tried to extinguish blazes beyond their reach, and that's what terrifies them. Because they know the truth. You are unstoppable. The strength you've built, the faith you've nurtured, and the wisdom you've gained make you more powerful than they ever anticipated. They see it now, and they know they failed. But it's not just your strength they fear. It's your grace. Despite everything they did, you didn't become bitter. You didn't let darkness take root in your heart. You rose above it. And now, as they stand in the ruins of their own plans, they beg for your mercy, not because they deserve it, but because they know the light within you is greater than their hate. They fear you because you survived what was meant to destroy you, and in surviving, you became something they could never defeat. The fallen angel believed they had all the power. Their arrogance made them certain that they could control you, that with enough manipulation, pain, and confusion, you would crumble under their influence. But what they didn't expect was your spirit's refusal to break. And that's where their downfall began. A narcissist's greatest weapon is control, the ability to shape how you see yourself and your world. They plant seeds of doubt, fear, and insecurity, hoping you'll depend on their approval and fear their rejection. But when you started to see through the lies, when you stopped reacting to their chaos and began standing in your own truth, their illusion of power shattered. The more you resisted, the more desperate they became. Every time you chose self-love over their manipulation, every time you stood your ground instead of shrinking back, their pride took a hit. They couldn't understand how you kept rising after every attempt to knock you down, and with every failure their frustration grew. But here's the thing about narcissists. Their ego is fragile. They need to feel superior. They thrive on the idea that they control the narrative. So when you refused to play their game, when you stopped reacting and started evolving, they were left with nothing but their own emptiness. The more you grew, the smaller they felt. The very power they tried to destroy in you only highlighted their own weakness, and that's when their arrogance turned against them. Their obsession with breaking you made them reckless, and in their desperation, they set traps that only caught them in their own web. Now they stand humiliated. Their pride, once so inflated, lies in ruins because they couldn't conquer you. And as you rise in your strength and light, they're left facing the truth they fought so hard to avoid. They never had the power. You did. They thought they were breaking you. Every time they attacked, through betrayal, manipulation, and pain, they believed they were chipping away at your spirit. They were sure you'd fall apart, that you'd lose yourself in the confusion and fear they created. But instead of breaking, something incredible happened. You transformed. With every setback, you grew wiser. You started seeing through the lies and recognizing the patterns. The people and situations sent to destroy you only revealed the truth about them, about the world, and most importantly, about yourself. You began to understand your worth, your purpose, and the power you carry. Every heartbreak made you more compassionate. Every failure taught you resilience. Every betrayal showed you the importance of boundaries. And through it all, your faith deepened. You stopped seeking validation from the outside and turned inward, connecting with your divine light and spiritual alignment. What your enemies never expected was that their attacks would be the very thing that shaped your strength. They wanted you weak, but they built a warrior. They tried to fill you with fear, but you became fearless. They wanted you confused, but you gained clarity. And now the transformation is undeniable. The person they tried to destroy no longer exists. In their place stands someone wiser, stronger, and more powerful than they ever imagined. And that's what shocks them the most, because not only did you survive, you thrived. Your light, once seen as a threat, now shines brighter than ever. And the very darkness that tried to consume you, it only fueled your growth. They fear you now because they see the truth. Every attack only made you unstoppable. At first, they believed they had all the power. The fallen angel, filled with arrogance and darkness, came after you with everything they had. They used fear, manipulation, and betrayal as their weapons, convinced they could destroy your spirit and dim your light. You were their target, and they were the hunter. But something they never expected happened. You didn't break, you didn't fall into their traps the way they thought you would. Every time they tried to tear you down, you rose higher. Every time they pushed you toward fear, you chose faith. And with every attack, your strength grew, your light burned even brighter. The tables began to turn slowly at first. Their words stopped having power over you. Their manipulation lost its grip. The more you stood in your truth, the more their control slipped away. They realized the fear they relied on to keep you weak was disappearing, and with it, their sense of superiority. And then came the moment of reckoning. The very spirit that set out to destroy you began to feel the weight of their own darkness. The traps they laid for you turned against them. The lies they spread exposed their own deceit. The fear they hoped to plant in you became their own downfall. Now, the hunter has become the hunted. They fear the light they once tried to extinguish because they see its full power, and they know they can't stop it. The same strength they mocked has made you unstoppable. The courage they tried to break has become their greatest threat. They ran toward your destruction, but in the end, they only sealed their own fate. And as they stumble in the chaos they created, you stand tall, a beacon of light, untouchable and unshaken. They never expected your light to be this powerful. When the fallen angels set their sights on you, they were convinced your spirit was fragile, easy to manipulate, easy to break. They believed their darkness could overwhelm you, that their lies, fear, and chaos would bury your hope and confidence. But what they didn't know was the divine light within you, a light so strong that no amount of darkness could ever put it out. At first, they came quietly. Their attacks were subtle, whispers of doubt, moments of betrayal, and waves of fear disguised as concern or love. They planted seeds of insecurity, hoping you'd water them with your anxiety. They wanted you to question your worth, your purpose, and even your sanity. But even in those moments of confusion, your light never dimmed. Your spirit began to push back. You started to see the patterns, way their words twisted truth, the way their actions drained your energy. And as you stepped deeper into your faith and self-awareness, something incredible happened. Their darkness was exposed. Your light revealed everything they tried to hide. Their manipulation stood naked against your clarity. Their lies crumbled under the weight of your truth. Every time you chose love over fear, faith over doubt, and courage over submission, their power weakened. They couldn't stand in your presence without feeling their own shadows creeping in. The more you grew, the more vulnerable they became. The arrogance they wore like armor began to crack. The control they once had slipped through their fingers. Your light didn't just expose their darkness, it reflected it back to them. And when they looked at you, they saw everything they tried to avoid, their own fear, their own emptiness, their own failure. But what terrified them most was your resilience. Every attack that should have destroyed you only made you stronger. Every lie they told only pushed you closer to your truth. And as your spirit expanded, their darkness had nowhere left to hide. They were left exposed, vulnerable and powerless in the face of the light they couldn't extinguish. Now they fear you, not because you attacked them, but because you survived them. Your very existence is a reminder of their failure. Your strength is a mirror showing them their weakness. And your light, the light they tried so hard to snuff out, shines brighter than ever, leaving them with no place to run from their own reflection. They never thought this day would come. The fallen angel, so confident in their schemes, believed they had you
right where they wanted you, vulnerable, broken, and afraid. They set their traps with precision, convinced that their darkness would swallow your light. But what they didn't realize was that every attack they launched was building your strength, and every curse they spoke was turning back toward them. At first, they watched you struggle and they felt powerful. They saw you face betrayal, loss, and heartbreak, and they believed they were winning. But they didn't see what was happening beneath the surface. With every setback, you were transforming. You were learning how to stand firm, how to heal, and how to protect your spirit. You were growing in wisdom and resilience, and their grip on you began to slip. Then came the moment they feared most. Their own darkness turned against them. The lies they told came back to haunt them. The traps they set for you caught their own feet. The fear and chaos they spread began to consume their own minds. Everything they sent your way, the manipulation, the betrayal, the curses, returned to them with even greater force. And now they're desperate. The fallen angel who once stood over you with arrogance is now on their knees, begging for mercy. They see the power of your light, and they know they can't escape the consequences of their own actions. The very darkness they use to control others has become their own prison. But here's the truth. They're not begging because they've changed. They're begging because they're afraid of the justice coming their way, afraid of the strength you now carry, and most of all, afraid of the fact that they have no more power over you. Now comes the hardest part. The part they never saw coming, and maybe you didn't either. The fallen angel who once tormented you, who tried to destroy your spirit and crush your destiny, is now at your mercy. Their arrogance has crumbled, their schemes have backfired, and the darkness they sent your way has turned against them. They're broken, desperate, and afraid, and now they're begging you for forgiveness. But here's the real test. Your test. After everything they put you through, will you forgive? Or will you let karma take its course? It's easy to feel justified in your anger. After all, they tried to break you. They manipulated you, betrayed you, and attacked your spirit when you were most vulnerable. You fought battles they'll never understand, and you rose from the ashes stronger than ever. The idea of watching them face the consequences of their actions might feel like justice. And maybe it is. But there's another side to this. Compassion doesn't mean weakness. Forgiving them doesn't mean excusing what they did. It means freeing yourself from the weight of their darkness. It means choosing peace over vengeance, light over bitterness. Forgiveness is a reflection of your strength, the same strength that carried you through their storms. At the same time, forgiveness doesn't mean you have to save them. Sometimes, the most compassionate thing you can do is let karma take its course. Some lessons can only be learned through consequence. And if their downfall is part of their growth, stepping aside and letting them face it may be the most merciful thing you can do. So now the choice is yours. Will you extend grace, or stand back and let fate deliver its justice? Whatever you decide, remember this. Your power lies in your ability to choose from a place of wisdom and strength, not fear or revenge. Now comes the hardest part, the part they never saw coming, and maybe you didn't either. The fallen angel who once tormented you, who tried to destroy your spirit and crush your destiny, is now at your mercy. Their arrogance has crumbled, their schemes have backfired, and the darkness they sent your way has turned against them. They're broken, desperate, and afraid, and now they're begging you for forgiveness. But here's the real test, your test. After everything they put you through, will you forgive, or will you let karma take its course? It's easy to feel justified in your anger. After all, They tried to break you, they manipulated you, betrayed you, and attacked your spirit when you were most vulnerable. You fought battles they'll never understand, and you rose from the ashes stronger than ever. The idea of watching them face the consequences of their actions might feel like justice, and maybe it is. But there's another side to this. Compassion doesn't mean weakness. Forgiving them doesn't mean excusing what they did. It means freeing yourself from the weight of their darkness. It means choosing peace over vengeance, light over bitterness. Forgiveness is a reflection of your strength, the same strength that carried you through their storms. At the same time, forgiveness doesn't mean you have to save them. Sometimes, the most compassionate thing you can do is let karma take its course. Some lessons can only be learned through consequence. And if their downfall is part of their growth, stepping aside and letting them face it may be the most merciful thing you can do. So now the choice is yours. Will you extend grace or stand back and let fate deliver its justice? Whatever you decide, remember this. Your power lies in your ability to choose from a place of wisdom and strength, not fear or revenge. After everything you've been through, the attacks, the betrayals, the heartbreak, you stand here not just as a survivor, but as a warrior of light. The darkness came for you because it recognized your power before you did. It saw the divine purpose within you and knew that if you ever fully awakened, you would become unstoppable. And now you have. But this story isn't just about the battles and how they shaped you into the person you are today. The ultimate message is this: when you stay aligned with your light and purpose, you will always overcome the darkness. Darkness only has one goal: to separate you from your truth. It comes in many forms: fear, doubt, betrayal, manipulation, and pain. It tries to distract you, break your spirit, and make you forget who you are. But every time you chose faith over fear, every time you stood firm when everything tried to push you down, you grew stronger. You became more aligned with your true self, and that alignment created a light so powerful that no amount of darkness could extinguish it. The attacks weren't just random. They were designed to stop your purpose. But the irony is that those very attacks became your greatest teachers. They pushed you to grow, to heal, and to awaken. The pain refined you. The betrayal taught you discernment. The setbacks taught you patience and resilience. And through it all, you discovered a strength within you that you never knew existed. And now the tables have turned. The fallen angel who tried to destroy you is begging for mercy, not because they've changed, but because your light has exposed their darkness. They're trapped by their own schemes, and the very weapons they used against you have turned back on them. That's the power of divine justice and the power of staying true to your light. But there's an even greater lesson here. Your victory wasn't just for you. As you rise, you become a beacon for others still trapped in their own battles. Your story becomes proof that no matter how fierce the storm, the light within you can never be defeated. You inspire others to stand firm, to trust their journey, and to believe in their own power. Staying aligned with your light doesn't mean the battles will stop. Darkness will always try to challenge those who carry divine purpose. But now you know the truth. You've already won. The moment you chose faith over fear, love over hate, and purpose over distraction, you became unstoppable. So as you move forward, remember this: your light is your greatest weapon. Protect it, nurture it, stay aligned with your purpose, and you will always rise above the darkness. Because when you walk in your truth, no force in this world or beyond can stand against you. The journey of the chosen one has never been an easy path. From the very beginning, you were marked by a divine light that set you apart from the rest of the world. This light carried a purpose so powerful that it threatened the forces of darkness, and from the moment you took your first breath, you became a target. But what the darkness didn't anticipate was your strength, resilience, and unwavering connection to the divine. And now, the very being that sought to destroy you has fallen into their own trap and is begging for your mercy. The fallen angel that set out on a mission to break your spirit was no ordinary adversary. With arrogance and pride fueling their intentions, they believed they could extinguish your light. They used subtle tactics, emotional manipulation, betrayal, and circumstances designed to push you into despair. They turned loved ones against you, created obstacles in your path, and whispered doubts into your mind. But despite their best efforts, they underestimated one thing: your faith and the power of divine protection that surrounded you. Every attack they launched only made you stronger. With every betrayal, you learned the value of loyalty. Through every hardship, you gained wisdom. And with every attempt to break you, your light only grew brighter. The pain you endured became the foundation of your transformation. You rose from the ashes of their destruction attempts, more powerful and more aligned with your divine purpose than ever before. And then came the moment of backfire. The traps they set for you turned against them. The darkness they sent your way rebounded with such force that they were consumed by their own negative energy. Their arrogance became their downfall, and their ego shattered when they realized they could not control or destroy you. The very light they sought to extinguish exposed their vulnerabilities and left them powerless. Now the fallen angel stands before you, broken and defeated, begging for the mercy they never showed you. The tables have turned in a way they never anticipated. But this is more than just a moment of triumph. This is a test of your compassion and wisdom. Will you choose vengeance, or will you rise above the pain and choose forgiveness? The choice you make now will define the next chapter of your journey. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting the pain they caused. It does not mean allowing them back into your life or trusting them again. Forgiveness is about releasing the hold their actions have on your spirit. It's about freeing yourself from the bitterness and anger that could hinder your growth. By showing mercy, you demonstrate the strength of your character and the power of your light. On the other hand, choosing not to forgive is also a valid choice. Sometimes the best lesson for those who seek to harm others is facing the consequences of their actions. Karma has a way of balancing the scales, and sometimes allowing the universe to handle justice is the best course of action. Whatever path you choose, let it be one made from a place of wisdom and peace. This battle has marked the beginning of your true spiritual awakening. You've stepped fully into your power, and your connection to the divine is stronger than ever. The challenges you faced were not in vain. They shaped you into the warrior of light you were always meant to be. And as you move forward, your purpose will become even clearer. Your story is far from over. The trials you endured prepared you for the greatness ahead. You are a beacon of hope and strength in a world that desperately needs light. By staying aligned with your purpose and remaining true to your faith, you will continue to overcome any darkness that dares to cross your path. So stand tall, chosen one. Your journey has only just begun, and the world is waiting for the brilliance of your light. Let your story be one of courage, transformation, and the ultimate victory of good over evil. The journey of the chosen one has never been an easy path. From the very beginning, you were marked by a divine light that set you apart from the rest of the world. This light carried a purpose so powerful that it threatened the forces of darkness, and from the moment you took your first breath, you became a target. But what the darkness didn't anticipate was your strength, resilience, and unwavering connection to the divine. And now, the very being that sought to destroy you has fallen into their own trap and is begging for your mercy. The fallen angel that set out on a mission to break your spirit was no ordinary adversary. With arrogance and pride fueling their intentions, they believed they could extinguish your light. They used subtle tactics, emotional manipulation, betrayal, and circumstances designed to push you into despair. They turned loved ones against you, created obstacles in your path, and whispered doubts into your mind. But despite their best efforts, they underestimated one thing: your faith and the power of divine protection that surrounded you. Every attack they launched only made you stronger. With every betrayal, you learned the value of loyalty. Through every hardship, you gained wisdom. And with every attempt to break you, your light only grew brighter. The pain you endured became the foundation of your transformation. You rose from the ashes of their destruction attempts, more powerful and more aligned with your divine purpose than ever before. And then came the moment of backfire. The traps they set for you turned against them. The darkness they sent your way rebounded with such force that they were consumed by their own negative energy. Their arrogance became their downfall, and their ego shattered when they realized they could not control or destroy you. The very light they sought to extinguish exposed their vulnerabilities and left them powerless. Now, the fallen angel stands before you, broken and defeated, begging for the mercy they never showed you. The tables have turned in a way they never anticipated. But this is more than just a moment of triumph. This is a test of your compassion and wisdom. Will you choose vengeance, or will you rise above the pain and choose forgiveness? The choice you make now will define the next chapter of your journey. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting the pain they caused. It does not mean allowing them back into your life or trusting them again. Forgiveness is about releasing the hold their actions have on your spirit. It's about freeing yourself from the bitterness and anger that could hinder your growth. By showing mercy, you demonstrate the strength of your character and the power of your light. But never forget this truth. Your light was never ordinary. It was always meant to stand out, to inspire, and to lead others toward hope and healing. Every challenge you faced was preparing you for a higher calling. The darkness targeted you because it feared the impact of your greatness. And now that you've overcome, your mission becomes clearer than ever. As you step forward, let your story inspire those still fighting their battles. Show them that resilience, faith, and love are stronger than any force of evil. Let your light guide others out of their own darkness, just as you found your way. And know this: the divine has always been with you, shielding you, guiding you, and preparing you for this very moment. So stand tall, chosen one. The battle may have been fierce, but your victory is only the beginning. Ahead lies a journey of purpose, power, and undeniable light. And as you continue to walk this path, remember, you were always destined to shine.